A very good morning to all my students and my fellow colleagues. Today I am going to present a lecture on standardization and codification. Myself Shiv Nandan Luthra. I am from Government Polytechnic College, Amritsar, belonging to Lecturer Mechanical Department. Since codification, it is one of the functions of store management. Codification is a process of representing each item by a number, the digit of which indicates the group, the subgroup, the type and the dimension of the item. Many organizations in the public and private sectors railway have their own system of codification, varying from 8 to 13 digits. The first two digits represent the major group, such as raw materials, spare parts, subcontracted items, hardware items, package materials, tools, oils, sanctionery and stationery, etc. The next two digits indicate the subgroups such as ferrous, non-ferrous, etc. Dimensional characteristics of length, width, head diameter, etc. constitute further 3 digits, and the last digit is reserved for minor variations. As we buy anything, there is a code on that. We call it the barcode. Whatever may be the basis, each code should be uniquely represent to one item only. If we are going to a mall, we are buying some item, we are able to see the code which is always encoded in some particular item for a unique item one. It should be simply the capable of being understood by all. Codification should be compact, concise, consistent and flexible enough to accommodate new items also. The groupings should be logical, holding similar parts near to one another. Each digit must be significant enough to represent some characteristics of item. Whenever we buy anything, there is a code on that part, and that code is always read by some digital working systems. The laser things are there which read that code, and we get whatever the content of that code is. Objectives of codification. Number 1, bringing all items together. Number 2, to enable putting up of any future item in its proper place, to classify an item according to its characteristics, to give a unique code number to each item to avoid duplication and ambiguity, to reveal excessive variety and promote standardization and variety reduction, to establish a common language for the identification of an item, to fix essential parameters for specifying an item, to specify item as per national and international standards, to enable data processing and analysis. As we have seen the objectives of codification, firstly, whenever we are doing some codification in a unique system of engineering, we are having the first motive to bring all the items in a one list. This is why we offer a unique code to each item with which we can identify that item individually. Whenever we are maintaining any kind of list, we are going to put a particular number for a unique item. In this way, we are able to put any feature item in its proper place in further future also. To classify its item according to its characteristics. Suppose there are a group of, I am having some parts, I am having 10 parts in my inventory, and then 4 parts are made by ferrous materials and 6 other parts are made by non-ferrous materials. Then I have to generate, or I should be working with a coding system of giving 4 parts individually a code for ferrous, being ferrous materials, and other 6 parts giving a unique code for being in the family of non-ferrous materials. Methods of codification. There are various 6 methods with which we can do the codification. Number 1, arbitrary system. Number 2, numerical system. Number 3, mnemonic system or alphanumeric system. Number 4, decimal system. Number 5, Frisch system, and number 6 is codex system. In the arbitrary system, we are going to discuss all these 6 in detail also, but let me just introduce in a few words the every item. In the arbitrary system, as its name implies, we put any arbitrary code for any item, but we put that code only for single item. In numerical system, we are going to put a numerical value that is going to be used as a code for that particular item. Alphanumeric system uses the above 2 systems combinedly, and we can have both alphabetics and numerics. Both the terms can be used to do the coding. In decimal system, just like our other functions, as our barcodes are there and QR codes are there, we are able to identify in that terms. QR code is one of the decimal systems in which the decimals are put in a square box, as you can see. We can even scan it with our mobiles also. So, let us now discuss the methods of codification in detail. Arbitrary system. Arbitrary system, as the word arbitrary indicated, is based on the serial number under which a material is received, and the same is allotted as a code number. Using this approach, all inventory items are simply assigned arbitrary numbers in sequence, as they are added to in the stores account, just like our serial number in class. While taking the attendance, we are having students with their particular unique roll numbers, but yet we are maintaining a serial number, that how many students, just to count them. In the same number, just like in arbitrary system, a number is allotted to a particular item. Sequence, as they are added to the stores account, each item thus has a discrete number, but it bears no symmetric relationship to the numbers assigned to the related items. Two similar items or two mating parts have numbers several thousand digits apart. For example, if bearings are received and suppose a number of 5090 has already been allotted to the previous item received, then the code number of these bearings will be 5091. That is, we want to say that there is no relation of one coded number to another coded number. We can't superimpose any kind of relationship between the two codes. This system has an advantage that there is no fixed limit for codifying any number of items. It is, I think, but obvious that whenever we are going to code something, we are not having any kind of limits. Moreover, one cannot know the history of items. This is the reason why system is not popular. When there is no relation between the series of coding, then there a problem occurs that we are not able to identify from its group. As I have given the example beforehand, suppose there are 4 items of ferrous system and 6 items of non-ferrous items. When we are going to code something of non-ferrous, there may be a different code. Suppose X is the code of ferrous materials and Z is the code of non-ferrous materials. Then if we are going to put the arbitrary number, any kind of number on the 10 things which are non-ferrous or ferrous, we will not able to identify its reason or its history, that to which that particular item belongs to. So this system is not that much usable. Next system is our numerical system. A numerical system assigns a 6 to 10 digit code number to each item. The first several numbers usually indicate the classification to which the item belongs. The next several numbers typically indicate the subclass, and the last three numbers are usually encoded. The following example illustrates the concepts. Suppose there is a number 312901750. This is a 10 digit number now. First number 3 is a general item number. 129 is a generic class number. 017, next 3 numbers or 5th, 6th, 7th digit is subclass number, and last 3 digits 8th, 9th and 10th digit is specific item number. Number 1 was showing us the raw material. Second, manufactured parts. The 10 digit code number is one of the firm's stock number for a 1/4 and by 3/4 inches stainless steel square neck carriage bolt. The first digit indicates that the item is a purchased part as per following general classifications. Raw material. Number 2, manufactured parts. Number 3, purchased parts. Number 4, MRO supplies, material requirement supplies, and work in progress. The next 3 digits indicate the generic classification of the item. In this case, it is a fastener. A code 129, all items are generically classified by the nature and carry a number from 000 to 999. It means we can accommodate 999 items individually in this section by giving a generic class. The next 3 digits indicate the subclass to which the item belongs. In this case, 017 is a carriage bolt which is a square neck. All fasteners are subclassified into a class bearing number of 000 to 999. In this further subclass, we are able to identify different 999 classes. It means there is a number is a huge. 10 digit number can count a several amount is a huge number by which we can count any kind of numbers. See, there are 999 generic classes, and in one class, in one generic class, there are other 999 subclasses. So, we are able to make a huge category wise information for particular one item. The last 3 digits indicate the specific part number of the item. It is the case all part numbers under 500 designate plain stainless steel, and numbers over 500 represent the various alloys. We can also give a particular item number for to be made by a specifically a simple material or a special material, as in our case here 503 is stainless steel. I hope it is clear now. Let us move to third system, mnemonic system. A mnemonic system functions much like a numerical system. However, it combines numericals and alphabetic notations in its symbol. For example, a carriage bolt described under the mnemonic system in the following manner. As I have explained earlier also, that a mnemonic system is combination of alphabetic and numeric items. So, let us see on an example. We are taking an example where the code is written PFARBCS 503. Now, P stands for purchased part. It is not a self manufactured part, it is purchased part. FAR is fastener. I hope you are getting my point. It is a fastener, so it is given by FAR. Suppose it is an assembly unit, then it may be noted as ASS. BCS stands for bolt carriage with square neck. Bolt carriage, B for bolt, C for carriage and S for square neck. and 503 represents the specific number of bolt as per its place to be implanted. Mnemonic system, particularly where a small number of items are involved, frequently make visual identification easier because they are more descriptive and they are often shorter. And see, if we are doing or working again and again on some items, if we are able to identify the things before even seeing them. In here we are having just 3 digits, whereas in the last system we were having 10 digits. So, it is much more easier to identify it. As more the different types of items are added to inventory, however, this advantage diminishes because the number of good symbols are limited. Let us move to further system. Decimal system. The decimal system of codification is universal which is in its working. Decimal system is a universal working system which is very simple and easy to codify the items of this system. Day by day, the number of items in almost every sphere of industry is increasing. Hence, codification should be done in such a manner by increasing which should meet the increasing requirement of industry, as well as it should be simple also. Under this system, the items up to 5 lakh can be easily codified, and at the same time each symbol which will give you the history, size, specification and specialization and complete picture of them. Modern industries concerned are generally adopting 7 to 11 digit for codifying the materials. Let us here also take an example. The first digit gives you the section, second digit gives you the class, third digit gives you the group, fourth digit gives you the types of materials, fifth digit gives you size, part number and specification of any other details that may be required. In the British system consists of a 7 digit applied in 3 stages. The items are grouped into suitable preliminary categories such as assemblies, sub-assemblies, components and off the shelf items. After these preliminary categories, items are grouped within the respective class in order to bring similar items together. The Frisch system, through it consists only of 7 digits, it is quite comprehensive and bases on logical major grouping. Our last system is codex system. The codex system consists of 10 digit numerical code. The logic of major grouping is based on sources of supply. All materials are divided into 100 basic classifications contributed only by procurement considerations. For instance, a bolt is listed as hardware item if it is listed in hardware catalogs and available with hardware suppliers. If the bolt is available as a part of the machine, it will be available under maintenance. I hope the students are getting what I want to deliver to them. So, before moving to standardization, firstly it is very important to know what the inventory is. Inventory generally refers to the materials that we keep in the stock. As we go to some shoe store, we buy a shoe. It is not that if you buy a 9 number shoe, there is no other 9 number shoe pair in the stock to that shopkeeper. So, he has to maintain that particular inventory to accommodate the customers if they come to him. Such management is known as inventory management. It is also called the ideal resource of an enterprise. Inventory represents those items which are either stocked for sale, or they are in process of manufacturing, or they are in form of materials which are yet to be utilized. In the interval between the receiving the purchased parts and transforming time to manufacture. It is therefore necessary to hold inventories of various kinds to act as a buffer between the supply and demand for the efficient operation of the system. I think you are getting my point, that why we should maintain that stocks, or why we should maintain the inventory to meet our requirements. If we are having no inventory, we will not be able to meet the sudden demand. If there is demand, there should be supply also. Otherwise, the enterprise would not be able to survive. Thus, an effective control on inventory is must for the smooth and efficient running of the production cycle with least interruptions. So, there are some reasons which should be told to students for keeping inventories. To stabilize production, the demand for an item fluctuates because the number of factors such as seasonality, production scheduling. The inventories should be made available to production as per demand, failing which results in stock out and production stoppage takes place for want of materials. Hence, the inventory is kept to take care of fluctuations so that the production is smooth. To take the advantage of price discount. Our second point is to take the advantage of price discounts. Usually, the manufacturers offer discount for bulk buying, and to gain this price advantage, and materials are bought in bulk even though it is not required immediately. Thus, inventory is maintained to gain economy in purchasing. Number 3, to meet the demand during the replenishment period. The lead time for the procurement of materials depend upon the many factors like location of source, demand, supply conditions, etc. So, inventory is maintained to meet the demand during the procurement period. Number 4, to prevent the loss of orders or sales. In this competitive scenario, one has to meet the delivery schedules at 100% service level. Means they cannot afford to miss the delivery of schedule. As I told you earlier, if you missed the customer, you missed the sale. To avoid that, organization have to maintain the inventory. To keep pace with changing market conditions. The organizations have to anticipate the changing market sentiments, and they have to stock materials in anticipation for non-availability of materials or sudden increase in prices. Sometimes the organizations have to stock materials due to other reasons like suppliers minimum quantity condition, seasons availability of materials, and sudden increase in prices. Inventory control. Inventory control is a planned approach of determining what to order, when to order, and how much to order, and how much to stock, so that costs associated with buying and storing are optimal without interrupting production and sales. Inventory control basically deals with two problems. When should be the order placed, and number 2, how much should be the ordered. These questions are answered by use of inventory models. The scientific inventory conditions control strikes and balance between the loss due to non-availability of an item and cost of carrying the stock of an item. The scientific inventory control aims at maintaining optimum level of stock of goods required by a company at minimum cost to the company. If suppose students, if company is importing some materials at a higher cost, then there may be the two cases. One is they are going to lose some orders, or other is they are going to lose their profit, and I don't think any businessman would like to reduce its profit. Objectives of inventory control: to ensure the adequate supply of products to customer and avoid shortages as far as possible. Number 2, to make sure that financial investment in inventories is minimum. Number 3, efficient purchasing, storing, consumption and accounting for materials is an important objective. To maintain timely record of inventories of all the items and to maintain the stock within the desired limits. To ensure timely action of replenishment. To provide a reserve stock for variation in lead times of delivery of materials. To provide a scientific base for both short term and long term planning of materials. Now, using this scientific approach, there are major benefits also, which are explained as earlier. Number 1, improvement in customers' relationship because of the timely delivery of goods and the service. Number 2, smooth and uninterrupted production and hence no stock out. Number 3, efficient utilization of working capital helps in minimizing losses due to deterioration, obsolescence, damage and privilege. Number 4, economy in purchasing, which is but obvious. Eliminates the possibility of duplicate ordering because you are maintaining a higher and precise record also. Inventory control techniques. In any organization, depending on the type of business, inventory is maintained. When the number of items in inventory is large and then large amount of money is needed to create such inventory, it becomes the concern of management to have a proper control over its ordering, procurement, maintenance and consumption. The control can be for order quantity and order frequency. Order quality is the quality which you opt or which for you desire by a manufacturer, and the frequency is the lot time, that how many times you give an order. The different techniques for inventory control are ABC analysis, HML analysis, VED analysis, FSN analysis, SDE analysis, Golf analysis, SOS analysis. But the most widely used analysis is known as ABC analysis. In this technique, the total inventory is categorized into 3 subheads and then proper exercise is exercised for each subhead. we will students show, I will show to the students the ABC analyzed a graph also, which helps us to see the things in a proper manner. ABC analysis, in this analysis the classification of existing inventory is based on annual consumption